will be taking a U.S. airstrike against Nigeria, northwest. Uh, you recall vividly there have been several warning passed by the U.S. government against the terrorism in Nigeria, particularly Christian genocide that have ravaged communities, ravaged a lot of local Christian settlements across Nigeria. The U.S. government, particularly led by the U.S. President Donald Trump, has been very clear that he cannot sit back idle to watch the continued slaughter of Christian population in Nigeria. We woke up to the news that the U.S. strike targeted the ISIS camp at northwestern Nigeria. This has left dozens of terrorists dead as the airstrike targets particular locations with high level precision that have left whole number of terrorists dead in their camp. This has not gone out well with some of the terrorist sympathizers across Nigeria, particularly in person of Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. Gumi has come out loud to criticize the US-led invasion, describing it as an overreach that should never have occurred. He was even citing instances of China, BRICS, Russia, as well as other world powers that could equally come in to stop the US from attacking the terrorists. According to him, he has since described the terrorists as their own brother that have been killed. He has never for once been found to criticize the terrorist activities in Nigeria. Rather, he's maintaining that Nigerians should be able to live, to learn to live with these terrorists amicably. He cited instances of farmer-herders clash, instances of communal clashes that involve different religious sects, not just Christian population, as has been put out by the US-led government. You recall vividly that the US government sent a delegation to Nigeria, a fact-finding Congress delegation that visited Abuja as well as Benue State. They even went as far as visiting the IDP camp, where they were able to substantiate the evidences of Christian genocide in Nigeria. And they were able to speak to the victims of this Christian genocide. This has informed the US decision to embark on military actions in Nigeria. I woke up to the news on Christmas Eve seeing the bombardment of terrorist hideouts in northwestern Nigeria. An operation that has been described as President Donald Trump as being not just the only attack, precision attack against the terrorists, that more of these are going to come up should the continuous attack against Christians, particularly described as genocide, continues in Nigeria. So this is some of the things that we'll be taking a look at as we proceed in this program. So, some of the things that we'll be taking a look at, remember, I've traveled down home as well as many other people. We are in a festive period and receiving this news of precision attack against terrorist hideouts. This has led to widespread conversation along social media. Of course, Nigerians, some are celebrating and some are being skeptical why there should be U.S. invasion. And this led to the fact that we need to spotlight the activities of the Tinubu-led administration. You understand, there have been questions around those are the hem of affairs of Tinubu-led government. He has successfully surrounded the security apparatus with persons of questionable character. You recall that the Minister of Defense, Bagudu, voluntarily resigned on grounds of health. We all understand there have been questions around his involvement in banditry and terrorism in Nigeria. There is another trending video where a former aide of Bello Matawale the former governor of Zamfara State. The aide has alleged that Matawale has supported uh, terrorists with logistic as well as feeds for some of these cattle that they have rustled from their original owners. And this is an open indictment on Bello Matawale, who is the Minister of Defense for states, as well as Nuhu Ribado. He has also come under severe allegations of involvement in terrorism sponsorship in Nigeria. And also, the Sultan of Sokoto has also been fingered as elements that are supporting or funding terrorism in Nigeria, including the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. All these are facts, issues that are popping up as a result of the US involvement in trying to end all forms of genocide in Nigeria. So, particularly in the northern zone, there have been agitation, there have been unrest, there have been, um, I mean, uh, high feelings that probably the US is targeting the northern population of the country, trying to attack them without really discussing the essence of this airstrike in particular. President Donald Trump has made it very clear that he's coming to take down all forms of stronghold of these he said the attack will be very sweet, smart, and precise. So that he has been able to do with what happened last night, where there was a precise, high precision target on terrorist den in northwestern Nigeria, particularly in Sokoto axis, where the terrorist camp were bombarded. Nigeria as a country has failed. Our population has failed massively because it is laughable that we have a government, yet terrorists are setting up their tents, setting up their camps without any resistance from the government of the day. It goes a long way to justify the assertion across social media spectrum that the government of the day is complicit. Of course, they've shown to be complicit because there is no justification between the whooping amount of money that have been set aside for security, for instance, in Nigerian budget, with the achievement that is on ground. A country that have set aside over half of our national budget for security alone has not been able to defeat Fulani herdsmen, have not been able to defeat Boko Haram, has not been able to defeat ISIS, and a number of them keep popping up every day. So the question is, what is the Nigerian government doing with this over half of its national budget that have been set aside for security? What are they using it for? And who is in charge of it? Who is giving account to the Nigerian masses on the day-to-day operations of the military and how they have been able to utilize these funds? These are issues and matters that are rising that Nigerians need to come up to ask questions. It's high time we call the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to order to ask, to question him on how has he been able to utilize these funds, what have been procured for the military, and why are they not using it all along? That it takes the US government to come all the way from United States of America to send down our military to come and attack terrorists in our own territory. So it's a clear indictment that the government of the day has not shown any interest, has not shown any strong commitment towards ending terrorism in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, they've been able to rather they've been able to attack other countries, and just like they did in Benin Republic, where they went to take out the military coup plotters. But then in their own country, where we have non-state actors picking up arms and terrorizing the entire country, they've not been able to set them out of operation. They will not be able to attack and, I mean, ensure the civil space for the Nigerian population to thrive. There are a lot of communities, as I speak, that can no more, people can no more freely go to farm. As a matter of fact, communities have been deserted, right? All as a result of lack of governance, lack of security. Non-state actors have taken over spaces and even collecting tax from the local population. This is so bad. Boko Haram are not collecting tax. Herdsmen are collecting tax. ISIS are also collecting tax from the local farmers. They go to farm, they cultivate, but they cannot harvest freely. All this come together to show clearly how the government of the day have failed the people of Nigeria. And it is a clear indictment of complicity, which Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot vindicate himself. The number one priority of any single government is to provide security of lives and property. The moment a government cannot provide security of lives and property, that government has failed woefully. And that is the case with Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration. He is more interested in providing peace that he does not have at home to Benin Republic, but he doesn't have the peace in Nigeria. Nigerians are living in IDP camps, over 10,000 IDP camps spread across the country. Yet we have a government that could send private military aircraft to Burkina Faso. For what reason? You know, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown to be more interested in protecting the interests of France ahead of that of Nigeria. Recently, we had a situation where the entire tax system has been handed over to France to collect tax on behalf of the Nigerian government. Why? Why should we have this? You know, at this age, since 1960 until this moment, we are still looking forward to European countries to help us collect tax from our own people. It's very bad. Besides, you cannot tax a population where hunger is the order of the day, where there is massive unemployment, where the people cannot even afford to eat. Are you taxing poverty? The answer is left for those who support or justifies the failure of this present Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration. And Nigerians, this is a clarion call that we all need to wake up and take responsible action towards rescuing our country for a more productive engagement. World over, citizens have risen and they have got involved on rescuing their country and ensuring that governance focuses on governance. But today, what do we have? We have almost Tinubu has successfully reduced Nigeria from a multi-party system to a one-party system. We currently have one-party system. Uh, Politicians in other parties have been harassed by the EFCC, have been witch hunt rather, and ensuring that they succumb to the pressure of joining the APC, and their sins are forgiven. So this is not the pathway that every President should look up to. As a matter of fact, President Donald Trump has kept his words by ensuring that there's freedom of religion globally. And he has shown that by his action against the terrorist camp in Nigeria. We look forward to more of this strike against terrorist camps across the country because there have been threats upon threats by these terrorists to carry out different uh, attacks against Christian population, which they started on Christmas Day. So the government of Nigeria have not shown enough readiness to be able to battle and end this terrorism. So the strike from the U.S. is a welcome development, and we want to see all terrorist camp decimated across the country, destroyed, and so people can return back to normal life that we are used to. We are not used to living in IDP camp. IDP camp has not been part of Nigerian history until the emergence of APC-led governments, and this has to stop. Just like the warning sounded by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has cautioned that the killing of Christians in Nigeria has to stop. The world over are fighting this Christians, the genocide against Christians in Nigeria, that this cannot continue. There has to be an end to this menace of Christian genocide in Nigeria. So I call on every northern Nigerians who are living in the north or from northern instructions, not to see this as a war against the northerners, but to see it as an exposure of that which the government of Nigeria has failed to do over the years. You cannot continue to be running from terrorists. You can't sleep in your home successfully with a rest of mind without being attacked. For how long do we continue to raise yet another generation in this suffering, where we continue to run from terrorist attack? You are traveling on the road, you are not safe, you could be kidnapped by terrorists, and that could be all. So this very strike against terrorist camp in northwestern Nigeria is a welcome development, and we appreciate Trump to keep it up and continue to mount pressure on the Nigerian government, ensuring that all forms of terrorism in Nigeria, all forms of genocidal attacks in Nigeria are brought to a complete end, because no country makes progress where there is genocide, no country makes progress where there is terrorism. There has to be a clear approach to developmental strategies to help the teeming unemployed Nigerian to gain meaningful employment. And Tinubu has failed. Instead of focusing on pulling people out of poverty, is rather focused on tax. What are you taxing? Are you taxing unemployment? Are you taxing hunger? Are you taxing insecurity? What are you taxing? This is the question that everyone should be asking the current government. What are they taxing? So any attempt to go on with the tax regime come January is a call for anarchy, because Nigerians are going to resist any further suffering that is unjustified. You can't continue to tell the population to have patience, to endure, whereas you are living extravagantly. You are wasting government resources without accountability and for taking further loans that cannot be seen to have been used for the masses or for the development of the country. So Nigeria needs a new direction, a new path towards development, a new path towards peace, a new path towards ending insecurity that is ravaging the country. Nigeria cannot continue to have our people living in IDP without having or without being in war. Nigeria is not fighting any war externally, but we have war already with us. The Fulani herdsmen, they have an agenda to terminate the Nigerian population. And Nigerian government should declare war against these Fulani herdsmen and ensure that there is total peace and tranquility across Nigeria. It is on this note I want to thank you all for being part of it, and we'll continue to call on President Donald Trump to continue to pressure the Nigerian government to ensure that all forms of insecurity, all forms of terrorist attack, all forms of genocide against the Middle Belt and Nigeria and the Christian population spread across the country are brought to an end. No one deserves to die for what religion he or she practices. We cannot continue to fold our hands and pretend that all is well. All is not well. People are being killed in Nigeria for just reason of their religious affiliation. Deborah was burnt alive in this country, in Sokoto, without any reaction by the Nigerian government. All this points to the fact that the government of Nigeria has been failing and continue to fail the people. So there has to be end to every dilemma that is affecting the people. In this case, genocide has, has to come to a conclusive end. And Nigeria have to chart a new direction going forward. Thank you, and God bless you. I remain your host, Mr. Hako Christian Oche. I say have a wonderful Christmas celebration. See you.